My first introduction to the game Obey Me was, like many, through their ads. About 4 years or so ago, I was a young teenager scrolling the internet when I was suddenly shown ads for a game known as Obey Me. Do you want to know what I was put off by? The title of the game. I thought it was some super raunchy, explicit dating sim, and so I didn't pay it much attention, because I wasn't really looking for something like that. I just wanted to read in peace, goddammit. I only properly got into it just recently, and with every other interest of mine, I just had to get hyperfixated on it. Coincidentally, my interest in Obey Me overlapped with the time when I had signed up for some art camps that my school was hosting that summer, so now I have just a wee bit too much handmade Obey Me paraphernalia hanging around, including, but not limited to, several handmade pins, a few hand-sewn plushies, and a cardboard portrait. Don't ask, unless you want me to put them up for sale. Anyway, enough about me and my terrifying ability to hyperfixate on things. The original game of Obey Me released on December 11th of 2019, and its successor, a sequel-prequel of sorts, Obey Me Nightbringer, has been released April of this year, 2023. Its status as an otome game has long since been debated, but the one thing I'm very sure it's not is a survival game, which I'm unsure of why it's been listed on Google as. I think Google's confusing the two Obey Me's because it has sort of a mix between both of their information. Either way, it's safe to consider it some sort of dating sim. You, being a gender-neutral role but probably intended female, assume the role of a human, or sheep, depending on what you'd prefer to believe, thrust into a world of demons and other supernatural beings. Your main pursuers include the 7 Demon Lord brothers, which represent the 7 deadly sins, as well as other characters who are undateable but seem to also possess some sort of passing interest in your character. Since then, it has gained a notably large fan base, although most of which are not active simply because of how long ago it was released, as well as 2 seasons of an anime and comic, available for pre-order now and releasing this December. I believe the anime is set in a time after MC leaves Devildom for a while, at least the first season, since I haven't yet watched the second season, but don't quote me on that. With such a popular series with a relatively long history, it's expected that many things have happened during its lifetime, and since I'm still kind of getting over my hyperfixation on it, I figured why not cover it for my first iceberg video. The iceberg I'll be using for this video was made by u/x_dennis_menace_x, posted on r/obeymee about a year ago. I believe it's a range from surface level knowledge to more obscure and specific occurrences, although I think I'm wrong on that because going through it again, it looks like it's listed off like what messed up stuff, and then like the surface is just like, you know, common stuff, but don't quote me on that. Hats off to them for making it, and to some users in the comments for giving some background on things that I haven't heard of, each of which I will shout out individually when they come up. I'll be going about this in the most neutral angle I can, but I'm still obviously someone with strong opinions, and I do talk about them sometimes, especially with things that are more serious. As far as I'm aware, a comprehensive YouTube video has not yet been made on this iceberg, although I believe there are some on TikTok and like one person who covered the first layer on YouTube, neither of which I've watched, but I will leave links to any I can find in the description if you'd prefer coverage from someone who isn't me or just a different perspective. Anyway, I won't waste any more of your time, let's get into it. Spoiler warning for Obey Me, by the way, just in case you're watching an hour-long video on a series you've never seen or played before. The 7 Brothers. The 7 demon brothers are the main love interests of the game, who also represent the 7 deadly sins, as well as being the face of the game in general. This includes the eldest and first, Lucifer, the avatar of pride, the second eldest, Mammon, the avatar of greed, the third, Leviathan, the avatar of envy, the fourth, Satan, the avatar of wrath, the fifth, Asmodeus, the avatar of lust, the second youngest and sixth, Beelzebub, the avatar of gluttony, and the youngest and 7th, Belphegor, the avatar of sloth. The Undateables. The Undateables are sort of side characters that you can't actually pursue, but clearly seem to be interested in you one way or another, and you can still earn relationship points with them. They include the Demon Prince, Diavolo, his butler, Barbados, your fellow Human World Exchange student and certified sketchy man, Solomon, one of the Angel Exchange students, Simeon, and the other Angel Exchange student, Luke, and 3 that were added later than the others, the Reaper 13, another angel, Raphael, and the noble Mephistopheles. NTT Solmare. Solmare is the company behind the Obey Me series. Founded in April of 2002, they have projects other than Obey Me, but none of which have seemed to brought them as much notoriety as the aforementioned series. In terms of the gaming market, their main gimmick seems to be the dating sim otome genre, Shall We Date being their series of dating sim otome games. Events. I'm not too sure whether this is in reference to events in the fandom or events in-game, but I'm running with the assumption that it's the latter. Obey Me, both the original and Nightbringer, have time-specific in-game events like most other video games both in and out of its genre. These events serve as supplementary material consisting of the characters going on non-main story-related escapades and scenarios. They play like any other lesson in the main story, but with points and rewards proportionate to how many levels you complete. There are also event gachas to go along with the event stories, cards being pulled in the gacha being able to be used in the event to boost the amount of points you receive. I don't think I need to explain event cards. The ads. Obey Me is pretty infamous for its god-awful ads. The Obey Me anime. Premiering on Funimation in July 16th, 2021, the first season of the Obey Me anime was released. Since then, there's been a second season. It stars the cast of Obey Me, set in a time after which MC has returned to the human world. It has more of a disconnected episode-by-episode structure in which each episode has its own little story beats. The Other Realms. Besides Hell, which most of the story takes place in, there's also the human world and the celestial realm. Solomon, and obviously MC, come from the human world, while the other two exchange students, Simeon and Luke, come from the celestial realm. One thing I haven't mentioned here that I find pretty interesting is people's theories on where the realms are located in terms of physical location. I've made a few guesses of my own, but all of them have at least one major flaw. Akuzan. Akuzan is the in-game name for the shop in which you can use your real-life money to buy things like in-game currency. I'm not sure why the OP decided to add so many game functions on this list, but whatever, I'll cover them anyway. Nightmare Gacha. The Nightmare is the in-game name for where the gacha happens. Grim and Devil Points. Grim is the in-universe currency of the Devildom, while Devil Points are the in-game gacha currency. They can be earned in-game or bought using real-life currency. Modulish. In-universe, Modulish is a major modeling firm in the Devildom. In the game, it's used as a place to change what is on display on your homepage. DevilTube. The in-game place where you can watch the Obey Me anime series, although only if you pay for the VIP. Lonely Devil. This is the in-game place where you can revisit old events using either a Lonely Devil specific ticket or Devil Points. Devilgram Stories. The SSR and UR cards you collect come with their own short stories behind them. They can be viewed using the Devilgram function in-game, and unlocked using the keys you get from leveling up your cards. Speaking of which... cards. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. It's a gacha game, of course it has cards you can collect. Each card contains a unique image of one of the characters, including the undatables, which can be obtained using either the gacha or rewards, stuff like that. SSR and UR demon vouchers. These are vouchers you can collect in-game through things like event rewards, which will guarantee that you pull either an SSR or a UR. Chat logs. Characters will occasionally send you messages, which you can reply to or read. In the original game, these are located in the chat area. In Nightbringer, they can be found in DCOM, along with phone calls. Similarly to chats, the characters will sometimes call you. Don't worry, they're not time sensitive like I originally thought they were. The main story. I'm assuming I'm not meant to explain the entirety of the story included in the games here, so I'm just gonna tell you that the original game includes 80 lessons, or chapters, of story which can be found in RAD, and, as of writing this, around 33 lessons, or chapters, of story in Nightbringer, which can be found in Burritoons. Funny story, actually. It took me so long to make this that it now has, like, 39 lessons. So, great. Personally, I've only made it to chapter 24 of the original story and chapter 13 of Nightbringer because my main focus has just been events. Speaking of which, I'm currently waiting for the current event to come out in I think the last time I checked it said 50 minutes, but I've been at this for more than 20 minutes now. The demon forms. While in the original game you mostly see the brothers in their more human forms, they are still demons, so they obviously have demon forms. Most of these resemble the animal that they're most closely related to, such as Beelzebub's wings resembling a fly's, while some are less obvious, such as Mammon, who is supposed to be a crow, and Lucifer, who is supposed to be a peacock, if I recall correctly. Although you can see peacock detailings on his clothing, I think, but it's not really obvious in his form. Lesson 16. Spoilers for Lesson 16 of the original game, obviously, although I don't really know why you'd watch this if you haven't played up to at least that point in Obey Me, but I'm not here to judge you. In Lesson 16, Belphegor essentially kills MC, albeit a time-traveling version of them. This leads to what is the main conflict in the story up to this point resolving. This event is pretty infamous in the fandom because, in mine and many others' opinions, it was kind of just brushed under the rug despite MC literally being murdered. Me personally, I would not take that. Constant glitches and bugs. Pretty self-explanatory unless it's referring to something really specific. Bugs and glitches just come with the game experience though, let's be honest. Luke is a Chihuahua. As far as I'm aware, this is just in reference to all the jokes that the other characters make about Luke being a Chihuahua. Simeon is Luke's dad. I think this is just a popular headcanon in the fandom because the two of them are close, and Simeon often acts as a mentor or father figure to Luke. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing to confirm or deny it in canon. Audio dramas. This is in reference to the series of audio dramas starring the cast of Obey Me. According to the wiki, 17 have been released. UR plus animations. There are some UR cards which come with a special skill animation. When their skills are used in battle, their skill animation will play. The most well-known example is the free Asmodeus UR card that you get from the beginning of the game, in which he rolls over and shushes the camera. Akuber. I don't know why this was further down in the other game mechanics, but whatever. Akuber is a mini-game in both of the Obey Me games, in which you try and click the corresponding character as quickly as you can in order to complete the level, in returns for items you can use to upgrade your characters. Which type and rarity of items depends on how many levels you've cleared and which day of the week it is. The whip item. I don't know why so many game mechanics have been put on here, but surprise guests haven't. Either way, during a surprise guest encounter, which has a chance of happening every time you manually clear a level, you have the option to give them items. One of these items is, like you probably could have guessed, a whip, except instead of giving it to them, you just actually whip them. Official character songs. Most, if not all, characters have an official song sung by their voice actor. These can be found on the official Obey Me YouTube channel. Lilith. Before the fall, the brothers had a younger sister called Lilith. She ended up falling in love with a human and breaking the rules of heaven by giving him a fruit to extend his lifespan. The brothers went to war to defend her, but ended up losing and all getting cast out of heaven. Lilith was assumed dead when she was shot and fell during the war, but in reality, Lucifer made a deal with Lord Diavolo to reincarnate her in exchange for his loyalty. However, he kept this a secret from his brothers, who all assumed her dead until after the Lesson 16 incident. Bunny Boys events. Welcome to the Bunny Show was an event that took place from January 25th of 2021 to February 5th of 2021, in which the House of Lamentation has to dress up as bunny boys for a 3-day, in-universe, event at the fall because Maman lost a bet. Asmo's first voice lines. So this was the first one I actually had to look up since I wasn't around for it, but essentially, from my understanding, they changed Asmo's voice lines a little under a year after the game released. From my understanding, I believe they either sped up or re-recorded Aime's, Asmo's voice actor's, lines to make him more high-pitched. People didn't really seem to appreciate it, saying he used to sound more enthusiastic and passionate, and that he sounds more stereotypical and horny now. I can't really speak on it since I don't know what he originally sounded like, but I also rarely play with audio anyway. Otaku FM podcast. Otaku FM was both an event that first ran from July 11th to July 24th of 2020, as well as an actual official Obey Me podcast, where the voice actor of Leviathan, Satoshi Kata, invites other Obey Me voice actors on as guests. It began December of 2020 and currently has 2 seasons, each of which consists of 12 episodes. So, I have no idea where I got the each of which consists of 12 episodes thing from, because I'm looking at it right now, and the first season has 7 episodes, and the second has 12 episodes, so I don't know where I got that from. Everything is based off the Bible. I'm not sure I would say everything, but a lot of it most likely is. I mean, it's a series that uses demons and well-known demon names in the 7 Deadly Sins, that's main love interests. Of course, Christianity and the Bible are going to play a role in it. TSL lore. TSL, or The Seven Lords, is a popular in-universe series that one love interest in particular, Leviathan, is obsessed with. Unbeknownst to him, at first, the series was written by Simeon, who used the brothers as the real-life inspiration for the fictional Seven Lords. Canon LGBTQ+. I have no idea what this one is referring to. I looked up as many different versions of this question as I could and got nothing. The only thing I could really find is a tweet saying that Saiyan is apparently canonically M-spec, but it didn't have proof or anything, so I'm not really inclined to believe it. Also, I'm never calling Twitter X. That is stupid, and I will not be doing that. So the best I can do is say that MC is canonically gender neutral, I guess, although definitely female intended. And the concept of gender in Devildom is, in general, probably less prominent considering they're all supernatural beings that can shift forms and all. Personally, as a queer person, I don't really think Obey Me was intended to be a queer or queer-friendly game. I don't know, I just never really got that feeling when I was playing it. Yeah, it's not homophobic or anything, obviously, but I just don't think it leans one way or another. Solmare just doesn't really strike me as the type, you know? Also, I wrote "you now" on my script. The Boys in the House. The Boys in the House was a series in which the voice actors of Obey Me came together to chat and discuss things. The first episode released on the 9th of April 2021, and as of current, the last full episode released on 3rd of July 2021. The Incest Cards. I believe this is in reference to the cards in which the brothers look weirdly close. If it's something else, then I don't know, and I don't want to know. MC plushies. This is either in reference to the incredibly popular design of Sheep MC as a plushie, or in reference to the same plush design being featured in Nightbringer as a gift that you can give the characters in Wanderer's Whereabouts. Although I'm more inclined towards the first one, since I believe this iceberg was made before the release of Nightbringer. HDD events. HDD events, or Happy Devil Day events, are events which take place in the days leading up to a character's birthday. Solmare stopped releasing new iterations of these, however, after the 2022 events, which means that for every birthday after, they're just gonna recycle the 2022 birthday event stories. Lucifer Unicorn Sticker. This is in reference to the in-game sticker of Lucifer in his demon form riding a unicorn. It canonically originated from the SNS band chat, and was created by Leviathan, Mammon, Asmodeus, and Satan, and was what got Mephistopheles fired from the newspaper club. Princess Diavolo sticker. I hope you know I almost printed this script when writing this portion, because when I was trying to click Ctrl-I to italicize, I had the P of princess on my mind, so I accidentally clicked Ctrl-P. Either way, this is in reference to the in-game sticker of Diavolo in his human form in a princess dress. It originated the same place that Lucifer Unicorn sticker did, and apparently Asmodeus designed the outfit. The Celestial War. After Lilith's disobedience was found out, it was decided that she would be wiped from existence. However, this was the breaking point for the brothers, who had let many things slip previously, and they officially declared war. This was the beginning of the Celestial War. However, we all know how it ended, seeing as the brothers ended up in Devildom. Lucifer can empreg. I mean, Lucifer sort of canonically gave birth to Satan, so is it really a far stretch to say Nightmare is a scam? Going purely off my own assumptions, I think this is because, as far as I'm aware, the gacha in Obey Me has no way of guaranteeing that you get a card and no pity system. So theoretically, if your luck is bad enough, you could not only never get the card you want, you could also technically never get any rare cards ever. r/Obey Me. The main subreddit of Obey Me fans. It only has 62k members despite the fanbase being so large, so I assume that's why it's so far down. The brothers and MC are distantly related. It is revealed after lesson 16 that MC is a distant relative of Lilith, so that implies that they are also distantly related to the brothers. I don't really think this is the case though, because Lilith was reincarnated, not just brought back to life, right? So she wasn't even physically related to the brothers anymore when she had children. Even if that wasn't the case, it would still be a relation that's so far back, it would be like me saying I'm related to every single person watching this video. Sure, when the universe began, people definitely had fewer options in terms of populating the Earth, but that relation is so far back, it probably wouldn't even matter. The 3 new characters. This refers to when Raphael, 13, and Mephistopheles were first announced to be added to the roster in November of 2021. Archangel Michael is Luke's dad. I couldn't really find anything on this besides a tag on AO3, so the best assumption I can make is that this is a headcanon because of Luke's idolization and frequent mentions of Michael. Or is it Michael? Card leaks. The closest I can find on this is a reply on a Reddit post from u/Kazukiyo saying that the game itself has leaked future cards using Devilgram posts, which say not yet available, and tease the card before they've officially been released. The game itself has leaked some new cards. If you open Devilgram, there's some cards that say not yet available when you check how to get them. There's a Simeon one I'm keeping an eye on, and I believe they're cards from future chapters that may have been implemented too early in an update. Event leaks. I couldn't really find anything specific on this one either, so I'm assuming it's just referring to general leaks. Satan's 100 Cats. If this is referring to something specific, I can't find it, but I think it's just in reference to Satan's cat obsession. I don't think he can actually own cats either way. Didn't he say somewhere that they weren't allowed to have pets in the house? 100 DVs drama. Thank you to u/Fallen Tragedy for explaining this one in the replies. Around August of 2020, players who joined the game during a specific time frame would receive 100 devil vouchers. Older players, understandably, weren't too pleased with this. Aime Mayura's music/cosplays. Aime Mayura is Asmodeus' voice actor. He has cosplayed the character before, doing a stunning job in my opinion, and a former VK musician. I've been getting into VK music recently, and I've also been cosplaying every so often for over 5 years now, so it's pretty exciting to hear that we have some common interests, and that's pretty cool. The beta designs. This is in reference to the brothers' beta designs, which can be found on the Obemi Facebook page. Notably, the two that never changed from beta to their official release were Maman and Seiyan. Maman is being abused. This became a rather popular headcanon due to his interactions with the brothers, but it's not canon, and I don't think it's genuinely happening. I see it as more of like a tough love type thing, and it's not like they don't have their moments where you can see that they genuinely do care about him. I also do kind of like the headcanon though, mostly because I just like projecting onto characters, and the AO3 fics are great. Just Leviathan bug. I think this is in reference to the glitch people experienced not too long after the game released, in which, when trying to play through Leviathan's surprise guest, he just stares at the screen the entire time and nothing else happens. This didn't happen with any of the other characters, just him. So this started recently, and I thought it was simply a connection issue, so loading got interrupted or something, but now it just seems really odd and I don't know what to do. Recently, anytime Leviathan shows up as a surprise guest, even when I talk to him on the home screen so I can increase intimacy, it just shows him on the screen, blinking, and the music playing without an issue, and nothing else happens. Like, he's just staring. This is where it gets weird. Recently, I had Lucifer show up on the surprise guest without any issues, successful interaction, and I was on the way back to my next task. Then I got Leviathan, and it happens again, just staring. The whole time I've been typing, and it stayed the same. I'm hoping it'll just work soon, but it's not really seeming like it. I tried exiting the game and resuming, but that doesn't help. Does anyone have any suggestions? I'd really appreciate them. Little D's are remnants. So for this one, there's two possible theories it could represent. The first is this theory I found by Tumblr user Obemi Theories specifically, in which they theorize that the Little D's are remnants of when the brothers became demons. The Little D's are remnants of when the brothers became demons, or at least they are the excess magic they carry. I think Diavolo would have created the Little D's so that the brothers could be able to relax a bit without worrying about their powers going overboard or being difficult to control. They were all angels at one point, and now they're all high-ranking demons. That type of level up might be difficult if it happens too suddenly. The second possibility is this Tumblr post by Thalfox that I found, which I think is also rather interesting. This one theorizes that the Little D are remnants of human souls consumed by demons. One thing we don't see in the Devildom, however, are human souls, or any humans other than the two exchange students. No humans being punished, no souls being tormented. The only soul we meet is that of Lilith, a heavenly spirit who has remained to watch over her brothers after dying as a human. Only MC is able to talk with Lilith, due to the familiar connection. The brothers' angelic relation to her is of no help now that they are demons, and she is a deceased and heaven-bound human. From this, we can assume that either all souls go to heaven, if not corrupted by demons, that there is a very nasty side to the Devildom, thus far hidden from MC, or something else happens to the souls that arrive in hell, rendering them unrecognizable as former humans. The demon brothers are very keen on keeping MC's soul safe, and encourage her to keep polishing it by resisting temptation. Even at Diavolo's bidding, would they be so keen if the outcome of a soul being corrupted meant MC could become like them, a higher demon? Or do they know that such souls are either extinguished completely or become Little D's? The characters have PTSD. It's not a far stretch. They did go through an extremely traumatic event after all. Having to fight a war, your sister dying, and then suddenly your entire life is uprooted and changes drastically would do that to you. A lot of their individual character traits and actions suggest this as well. With Lucifer specifically, his strictness and controlling nature being a result of this trauma would make a lot of sense. While he was still strict as an angel, he was notably less so, and let things like Lilith visiting the human world slide. He blames himself for what happened, and believes that he could have prevented it if he took the right measures, which is what led to him adopting his current demeanor as a coping mechanism. The self-blame is definitely also just something that a lot of the brothers do experience. Both Beale and Belfi outright tell the MC that they do. Homophobic fans. Okay. Simeon Autotune. Pretty self-explanatory. On his official character song, his voice is auto-tuned a lot, although they sort of just do this with a lot of people, especially with all the songs they use in Nightbringer's rhythm game portion. It's pretty unnecessary, but hey, I guess I'm not the one producing it. References to Solmaire's other works. Not too sure what this one means, but it's not uncommon for developers to put references to their other works or upcoming works in their games, whether to advertise for them or just because they put a lot of effort into their work. The Angel's Second Forms. I believe this is in reference to true forms, which many have theorized that the Obey Me characters could have. These would be their completely non-humanoid forms, which they most likely choose not to present, due to the belief that seeing them may make humans lose their minds. Pedo fans. This is in reference to all the weirdos that sexualize Luke. Astaroth. According to the Obey Me wiki, Astaroth is the author of an in-universe book, devoting body and spirit to beauty, most notably appearing in one of the first chats you receive, in which they placed 9th on the popularity contest after Mammon and Mephistopheles were disqualified. Satan is a chestbuster. According to u/responsibility C383, this is in reference to a headcanon that people have made, suggesting that Satan was born by, inspired by the Alien movie, busting out of Lucifer's chest. Mammon was sexually assaulted. In the SSR, the Escorts card, the Devilgram story depicts a scene in which Lucifer and Satan talk about how there was an incident where, after a nightly encounter with the witch Maddie, Mammon came home in tears and was clearly traumatized afterwards. There are other chats and scenes where he says similarly suspicious things, but I believe most people are referring to this Devilgram when they talk about this. The developers have confirmed that nothing actually happened, but personally, I think it's bullshit, and they're just trying to cover their ass after getting backlash for it. Even in the situation that nothing was intended to happen, it's still fucked up to hint at SA to use as clickbait or cliffhanger. Tallfox has a Tumblr post on this as well, which goes more in depth on this, and I'll link it below. Satan Twitter porn bot. According to this reply thread, this refers to the usage of Satan's name by the Obey Me Twitter account when announcing his character song, attracting a bot, which responded with a video of someone with a massive cock masturbating with the caption saying something like, "Satan's cock." Whitewashing. I don't know why this one's so low, since it's pretty well known and obvious, but it's in reference to all of the cards of people like Mammon and Diavolo where they're drawn pasty white. Luke's response to the whip item. According to the wiki, when you use the whip on Luke during his surprise guest, he will respond with one of 3 possible options. Did I do something to make you angry? Is this one of the ways people communicate in the human world? Ow, what the heck? I'm unsure if they were just referring to these or if there was another removed response. The devs are into vor. Originally, the OP said that this entry was added as a joke, but it is an actual thing apparently. In the Animal Chaos Devilgram, the story revolves around Mammon, Leviathan, Belphi, and Beelzebub turning into animals and saying things which suggest that they'd like to eat MC, and Beel, in a fit of hunger, is extremely tempted. Things like this also just happen a lot with Beel as a character in general, so it's not a stretch to say that the devs might be into it. Barbados is a slave. According to u/Gurosoup in a reply, apparently Diavolo once lured Barbados into the castle and held him hostage until he agreed to work under him. Okay, wow, this isn't on his wiki anymore, but there was a section talking about how Diavolo promised Barbados he has rare tea leaves he was looking for, and lured him into the castle and then wouldn't let him leave until he promised to be his butler and work under him. It's in lesson 58-A according to my old messages where I quoted it. Honestly, I could have sworn they met under different circumstances though, but I could just be remembering wrong. The brothers are MC's uncles. I believe it's the same idea as the brothers in MC are distantly related, unless I've missed something. Again, to reiterate this, MC is a descendant of Lilith, who was their sister before being reborn as a human and living out a human life. Therefore, technically, the brothers have a connection to MC, but again, it would either be not a literal relation at all, or a relation so distant it would be like me saying I'm related to all of my exes. The 7 virtues may be canon. The 7 heavenly virtues are a Christian belief, in which the values of chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility are used to counteract the 7 capital virtues, or the 7 deadly sins, of lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. Obey Me has been relatively accurate to their sources in terms of history, so it isn't a stretch to say that the 7 virtues do in fact exist. Whether or not they were the brothers as angels remains to be seen. Solmair's history. It doesn't surprise me that Solmair's done sketchy shit, but the one mentioned here, according to this reply thread, is in reference to one of Solmair's older games, Guard Me Sherlock, in which an adult woman MC has the option of pursuing a 14-year-old character by the name of Micah Hudson. One of the older Shall We Date games, specifically Guard Me Sherlock, has a child/teen love interest, while the MC is an adult woman with an acting career, has the potential to date Micah Hudson, the young teenage landlord of Sherlock. In the main game, he's around 14 or so, but in his route, he gets aged up to college graduate. It implies that he had feelings for the MC in his early teens, but held off since he was too young for her. Solmair got big backlash from that one. Privacy Jack. This is in reference to an AO3 account, which has since been orphaned, that writes questionable fetish content. Honestly, not to invalidate people's opinions, but it's really not that bad compared to some of the other things on AO3. There's worse authors and even worse content in the Obey Me fandom specifically. The 125 theory. OPS said that this is referencing some weirdo's theory that Asmo was sexually assaulted by one of the eldest 2 brothers, possibly resulting in his hypersexuality. As far as I'm aware, there's no evidence to suggest this, and it doesn't really seem like something Solmair would make canon anyway. It's just some weirdo's sick fantasy. I couldn't find anything on this when looking for it, so I'm just gonna take people's word for it. This one I can only explain if y'all trust me. I know it's not convincing, but my only proof is my memory. But this was a post I saw on Tumblr around 2 years ago now when I was scrolling through the latest and found a theory called the 125 theory, which basically was a theory that Asmodeus was sexually assaulted by one of the older brothers, specifically Lucifer or Mammon, which is where the numbers come from. Obviously, I didn't think much of the post until I thought of it recently, because I thought it was probably a troll account, but I couldn't confirm it because I couldn't find it. Just like the other one, I was running out of unknown stuff, so I added it. 20-page script and an entire day writing it. You guys better appreciate this. Anyway, I feel like it's just commonplace for me to say this every video now, but sorry for the long absence. You should honestly just be used to my semi-annual uploads by now, though. I wish there was a more recent iceberg, but this was the only one I could find, and I haven't been around long enough to make my own. Thanks for watching, though. If you'd like to show me some support, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like or a sub or a comment or anything, really. It's free and it would mean the world to me since I spent days at my computer editing these things. Not to mention the amount of time I spent researching and stuff like that. Anyway, you're your own person, you have free will. As always, my socials and Discord server will be linked down below, along with a lot of sources and additional resources I used in this video, so be sure to check those out. I also do commissions, so if you like my art style and want to commission me, you can always contact me on any of my socials. See you sometime within the next millennia, I don't know. Since then, it's gained a notably large fan base, although most of which are not active simply because of how long ago it was released, as well as 2 seasons of an anime. Since then, it has gained a notably large fan base, although most of which are not active simply because of how long ago it was released, as well as 2 seasons of an anime and a comic available for. Oh my god, why is this one sentence causing me so much fucking pain? Since then, it has gained a notably large fan base, although most of which are not active simply because of how long ago it was released, as well as 2 seasons of an anime and comic, available for pre-order now and releasing this December. That take wasn't bad, but it wasn't good, and I'm gonna just keep rolling, because I don't care. Anyway, I won't waste any more of time. What did I even just say? Anyway. Oh hey, my editing app finished downloading. Yeah, I had to reinstall it because I cleared out like most of my laptop so that I could download the new Genshin update. It's sad, I know. Shut up. The second youngest and 6th, Beelzebub. Did I pronounce that wrong? I think it's Beelzebub. And you can earn... I'm so sweaty. It's such a bad night to be doing this. In terms of the gaming market, their main gimmick seems to be the dating sim otome genre. Oh, God. That's the name of, like, a girl in elementary that I used to be friends with. In terms of the gaming market, their main gimmick seems to be the dating sim otome genre. Why did I just stop? Cards pulled in the gacha being able to... sounds southern. Self-explanatory. The quote-unquote nightmare is the in-game... Why did I say quote-unquote? I don't think I should have said quote-unquote there. The SSR and UR cards... What does SSR stand for, though? Should I say SSR out? Or do I just say SSR? I just wrote strand for. So, okay, it's definitely not this, but I think it's funny. Soviet Socialist Republic. Yeah, that's definitely what it stands for. System Service Representative. Sociology and Social Research. Secondary School Report. School of Sound Recording. Solid State Recorder. Social Security Review. Safety, Security, and Reliability. Small Screen Reader. Social Security Recipient. Sweet, sweet ride. Okay, I think I should, like, actually look it up. In games. There we go. Specially super rare. Okay, that's stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm just gonna say SSR. And Simeon Afton. William Afton. Simeon is William Afton. That's what I'm saying here. The most okay. Most well-known example is the free Asmodeus card. Card UR card. Okay, what was I having a stroke or something? Okay. I don't know why so many game mechanics have been put on here, but surprise guests haven't. Okay. That reading sentences fun. Welcome to the Bunny Show was an event that took place from January 25th of 2021 to February 5th. Did I say January 5th or January 25th? The boys in a house. Yes, the boys are in a house. I'm very glad to hear that. And as of current last full episode really. Is that proper sentence structure? I don't know. And as of current, how do I fucking read this? What was I thinking when I wrote it? HDD events, or Happy Devil Day events, are events, okay. Are events I said it again, oh my god. Saying that the game itself has released. Okay, yeah, the game released. Brilliant observation, Remus, thank you. Around August of Why did I stop? I was right. Which can be found on the Obey Me fish book. Fish book, guys. Fish book. The second possibility is this Tumblr. I really sounded that one out. While he was still strict as an angle. I was gonna say angle. Jesus Christ. He blames himself for what happened and believes that he could have presented it. Yeah, bro made a presentation, because why not? There are other chats and scenes where he says similarly specific. He will respond with what's your meat?